Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and I've got my first Arcanist build ever for you guys. I was really excited to put this together. I just got back from vacation yesterday, so we spent all yesterday grinding this character up, getting all the skill points, and today we were in Cyrodiil enjoying ourselves, and honestly, I really enjoyed this build. I know that a lot of you guys have different opinions on the way Arcanist should play, so I'm going to be putting out a lot of different Arcanist builds this patch. I'm going to try a bunch of different things. This is just the first iteration of it, so guys, if you like it, let me know in the comments. If you don't, look, that's fine too. Also, let me know. I'm always down for any kind of open talk. Let me know what kind of stuff that you guys have been running. I'm always down to hear different opinions. But also, one more thing before we get started. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We're about to hit 6K subscribers, and that is absolutely massive. I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody who's subbed so far, and thank you to everybody who's subbing in the future as well. Also, if you want to see any of the gameplay for this build, it will all be at the end of this video after I'm done discussing everything for the build. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's look at our character sheet first. I wanted to go Khajiit on our Arcanist because Khajiit is just overall really good for your damage and for your overall just your entire resources as well, because Khajiit, you just get your critical damage increase. I don't have that much critical damage on this build, but I mean, we can still change it so that future builds can use it. But for this one, you get to increase your max health, magic, and stamina, so that's massive. And on top of that, it also increases your health, magic, and stam recovery too. So both of those are really nice passives that you can use on both magic and stam. And your crit damage is also huge too, as always, and I just really like it in general. So moving on, our attributes, we're just going to have all 64 points into stam. I just really enjoy having all the stam in there. You can get such high health naturally on Arcanist, so you don't really need to put much into there. If you want a little bit more health, go ahead. We have death dealers on this build, so overall we get to about 32k health. So it's really a lot. I don't really see the need for any more. I don't really have a tough time dying to people in 2 shots because 32 health still is a lot when we're fully buffed up. We're also going to be using the warrior to increase our weapon damage as much as possible for our Mundus. Also, we're going to be using Vampire Stage 3 as always. Vampire Stage 3 gives our Undeath passive, so that's a huge way to get tankier the lower health we are. Now also, Jewels of Mizrael is great for this build as well. Increases your max health as much as possible, and also increases your max stam and magic recovery by 315 as well. So moving on, our skill. Well, actually, let's look at our gear first. Sorry. Our monster set's going to be Bloodspawn on this. I really wasn't sure what monster set to use on this, so I started using Bloodspawn, and the amount of tankiness that it gave us, and on top of that, also the ult regen was insane. So we're going to be using a heavy reinforced helmet with a medium divine shoulder. Bloodspawn is going to give us a line of stam recovery, and then also the 2 pieces. When you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate and increase your physical and spell resistance by 3,700 for 5 seconds. So that's huge again for our overall ult sustain. We're just increasing ult like crazy. We're taking a lot of damage on this build. On all builds, it's PvP. And also increasing your physical and spell resistance is pretty huge as well. Our front bar set, guys, new patch, but saying me, it's going to be Way of the Fire. So we're going to be using a heavy chest piece in Reinforced. Way of the Fire is going to be great for your overall damage sustain. You're going to be getting a line of weapon and spell damage, a line of max stam, crit chance. Then also, when you deal damage with a weapon, you deal an additional 2,500 flame damage, and that can occur once every 2 seconds. So that is just great for your overall sustained damage. We're going to be using Rending on this build, and Way of the Fire, when you deal damage with a weapon, that also applies to weapon dots as well. So this is a great way to start off. That dot on that rending is going to proc Way of the Fire every 2 seconds, and that is amazing for your overall damage sustain. It's really nice. Also, our legs are going to be heavy Way of the Fire as well in Reinforced. Our other set, we're also going to be using Bracers of the Trainee as our hands in medium impen. We have 1 extra slot on this build, so Trainee is a great way to increase our max health as much as possible. So it increases our max health by 1,400. And our back bar set is going to be Daedric Trickery. We're going to be using a light impen waist piece. So we're using 1 light because the way our armor weight is going to be set up, it's going to be 3 heavy, 3 medium, 1 light. That way we can get all the passes for Undaunted and everything. So it's great to have that 1 light piece in there. And Sash is the smallest piece, so this is the best way to min-max your overall damage and tankiness. So Danger Trickery, our back bar set, this is going to give us a line of max health, max stam, max magic, and when you deal damage, you gain 1 of 5 random major buffs for 21 seconds, and that's going to occur once every 9 seconds as well. So that could be either Expedition, Major Protection, Major Mending, Major Heroes, and Major Vitality. So it's going to either make you really tanky, it's going to give you a lot of heals, it's going to make you really fast, or it's going to give you a lot of ult gen. So all those are really good ways to help your overall damage, your sustainability, just your overall survivability in a fight. I think Danger Trickery is a very good set for Arcanist, and I have not been proving wrong so far. A lot of people in my chat that I was talking to on Twitch today, they were also using Danger Trickery, and I just really think that this is going to be a really good set to use on Arcanist. And then our feet are going to be medium Danger Trickery in Impen. Our jewelry is going to break down like this. We're going to be using Way of the Fire as our necklace and the infused trait with a reduced health, magic, and stam cost on it. We're going to be using triple reduced cost on this build because the Arcanist abilities are incredibly expensive. So I prefer to go reduced cost rather than overall recovery. It is insane how expensive Arcanist abilities are. I definitely recommend going this way. So looking at our other jewelry, we're going to be using Death Dealer's Fate as our mythic. Again, infused with a reduced health, magic, and stam prismatic enchantment on it. I definitely recommend doing that, by the way. So Death Dealers, it's going to give you, basically in layman's terms, the longer you're in combat, the more health, magic, and stam you're going to get, up to a maximum of about 3,000, I believe it is. It's just shy of that, but overall, it makes you really, your overall stats really chunky, and it gives you a lot more health, magic, and stam, and it's really good for your overall sustain as well. And then our ring is going to be Ring of Danger Trickery and Infused, again with a health, magic, and stam reduced prismatic enchantment cost on it. I definitely recommend using the 3 reduced cost. I definitely noticed a difference in sustain a lot. Our front bar set is going to be, we're going to be using dual-wield Maces of the Fire, as you can see here. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhone with a poison damage enchantment on it, and our offhand is going to be Sharpened with a disease enchantment on it to increase our overall damage. And our back bar set is going to be an Ice Staff of Danger Trickery in Defending with an increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it as well. Moving on to our skills. This is going to be interesting because I don't know the names of any of these things at all, so I'm going to be doing a lot of reading for you guys. But the one thing I do know is Rending Slashes. This is going to be what's proccing your Way of the Fire. This is just a nice little bleed, a nice little spammable for you. This is great to just start off that fight and hit him with that initial hemorrhage status effect, and it's just great to just start off that fight and just have him take that sustained damage every 2 seconds from that Way of the Fire, and also that dot damage as well is pretty nice too. So our next ability is going to be Rune of Uncanny Adoration. This is basically, to put it in layman's terms, this is a CC for you. It's really nice to be able to line this up with your other abilities, and this CC is not blockable, it's not dodgeable, it goes through both of them. So you hit this on your enemy, and this ability charms them, and what charming does is it basically has them walk towards you. So if somebody's trying to walk away from you, you hit them with this ability, they turn around and start walking towards you. And it's really good for your great sustained damage and your burst potential, because it goes through all that roll dodge, it goes through block, it goes through all that stuff. So no matter what they try to do, it is a great way to also drain their stam too, because they have to break the CC, or they just wait the full 8 seconds. Or 4 seconds, I apologize. It's 8 seconds on monsters, sorry, I was just reading that. Impervious Rune Ward. So this is going to be a nice shield for you. This is a great way to just keep your overall sustained healing up. What I also like about this that you shouldn't sleep on at all is, so again, this is a shield, and this is kind of like a Magsork shield. It's really nice to be able to use that. So also consuming a Crux is going to heal you for 3,588 health as well, scaling off of your max health, and it's going to be per Crux spent. So every time you apply this ability, it's going to consume your Cruxes if you have any, and it's going to give you that shield, and then it's going to give you that 3,500 health bonus as well. So if you use 2 of these, if you have 2 Cruxes on, it's going to give you 7,000 health. If you have if you have 3 Cruxes, it's going to give you, oh god, what is that, like, what's 3,500? Dude, math is bad. 10,500, right? Yeah, so it's going to give you like a 10,500 heal if you have 3 Cruxes, and it's pretty easy to gain Cruxes in this game. So definitely don't sleep on the heal on this. This is a great way to stay alive, because we only have 3 heals on this build, and this is the highest. This is the closest thing we have to a burst heal on this build. Also, the next ability, wish me luck pronouncing this correctly. Cephaliarch's Flail. I'm just gonna call it Flail. Please don't make me pronounce it again. It's a nice little bit of burst damage. Our tooltip on this is 6.4k, but then also you heal yourself with 3.6k, so it's nice for your overall healing sustain as well. You have a lot of abilities that heal you as well, and then enemies are immobilized as well, so you can hit them with this, and then they try to like roll dodge out of this, or they hit their ability that gets them CC immune, and then you hit them with this Rune of Uncanny Adoration, and you just double CC them. It's kind of like the exact same combo as a DK hitting somebody with Talons, and then hitting them with oh my god, I can't think of the word. Oh my god, why can't I think of the word? I'm not in DK mode right now. Hitting with Talons and then Fossilize. I don't know why I forgot that for a second. My brain is just not working today. Sorry guys. So it's a nice little combo to just drain your enemy's stam, and if your enemy doesn't really know how to sustain their stamina, this is a great way to just take control of that fight. So it's awesome. I really like this ability a lot. Also, Pragmatic Fake Carver is going to be our last ability on our front bar. It's free because we have that triple reduced cost on it, because it wasn't really that expensive to start off with, so having that triple reduced cost makes this ability free, so it's awesome. It's just your beam ability. So our initial tooltip is going to be 2,700, and it's going to be damaging them every 0.3 seconds, and then also it's going to be increasing your damage done by 16%, or by 33% per crux spent, so it is huge for your overall damage. This damage hits like an absolute truck. Yes, it is very unreliable. The way it hits, the whole... it's really hard to hit sometimes, but when it does hit, it hits really nicely. That's why comboing this ability with your Flail or your Rune of Uncanny Adoration, both of these are really great ways to just use this ability as well. Try and use both of them, if not one of them, to start the fight off, and then hit them with this. And it is a great way to just make sure that this ability is hitting on your enemies. And then Tide King's Gaze. I really had a fun time using this ultimate. It's probably not best in slot by any means for overall 1vx or small scale builds, but I had so much fun with this. This is going to be the morph that follows your targets, and you just cast this on your enemies. Basically, the best way that I can tell you how to use this ability is make sure that you don't have your enemy CC'd in any way. Hit him with this ability, and then hit him with that flail. They try to roll dodge out of the flail or something. Hit him with that Uncanny Adoration, and they're taking all of this damage to the face. They're taking 3,600 magic damage every 0.5 seconds. So that's over 7,000 damage every second, and that is massive for your overall damage. If you combine that, hit him with your CCs, have their rending on them, so that way the fire is proccing every 2 seconds, and then also you hit him with your beam, that damage is insane, and a lot of people that I've played against today couldn't handle it. So I definitely recommend trying this. It's been a lot of fun. Then our backbar abilities, we're going to be using Inspired Scholarship as our source of major brutality and sorcery. So this is going to increase our weapon and spell damage by 20%. We don't even activate it to get that buff up as much as possible. That buff is just on our bars at all time because we have this slotted. But this ability is going to be once every 3 seconds, you're going to be damaging your enemies for 2,700. So that is massive, and you're also generating cruxes off of this as well. So I like this morph a little bit better for your overall damage. I really didn't feel like you needed the other one for your sustain, so I really liked using this one. And then Race Against Time, this is going to be your source of major expedition and minor force, so it's going to increase your movement speed by 30%. It's going to increase your critical damage by 10% as well. Also, activating this ability is going to remove all snares and immobilizations to you for 4 seconds, and it's also going to grant immunity to them. So that's really good for just getting out of those situations, and or if you just want to be fast, it's good for that too. Also, Resolving Vigor, this is going to be one of our main heals over time. This is a nice 5-second heal, and it's going to also give us minor resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. And that 5-second heal, do not sleep on that. Make sure that's up at all times if you can. Also, Evolving Rune Mend. This is your other heal on here. This is Also pretty close to a burst heal, so you're gonna get 3 heals real quick. That's gonna heal you for 3,900. So that's gonna be what, about 11,000, just shy of 12,000, I think. So that's a nice little burst heal. I like it a lot. Comboing that with Resolving Vigor is a nice way to just heal yourself and get yourself back to full health. So comboing these two and then going back to your front bar and hitting your ward, that's really nice as well. Also, each active crux is going to reduce the cost of this ability, so, you know, use this ability when you have more cruxes. That way it costs a lot less. And then Cruxweaver Armor. This is going to be your source of major resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 30 seconds. Also, while this armor persists, taking damage is going to apply minor breach to your enemy, so it's going to reduce your enemy's physical and spell resistance by 3k for 6 seconds, so that is absolutely massive. Also, I like how they changed the wording of this. It's just armor now, not physical and spell resistance, so I'm just going to try to say that from now on. So it's going to reduce your enemy's armor by 3k, and then also you're going to be getting cruxes applied to you every 5 seconds whenever you're taking damage. So that's massive for your overall crux sustain, and crux sustain is massive on here. It's going to increase your damage for your beam. It's going to increase your healing. It's going to increase the heal that you get on your rune ward, and honestly, make sure the more cruxes you have, the better at all times. And then our backbar ultimate, I've been having so much fun with this because people just don't know how it works yet. We're going to be using Sanctum of the Abyssal Sea. So what this does, I'm just going to read it word for word because it's basically easy to say. Gather the true strength of Apocrypha as protective tentacles rise from the Abyssal Sea around you. So basically you're putting a shield around you. And that damage shield is gonna absorb 60% of all incoming damage for 10 seconds. So it's up to a maximum of 38,000 damage. So it's gonna scale up your max health. So if you want a little bit more health on this build, definitely go for it. You can get this tooltip a lot higher. Also, this tooltip will be a lot higher when your Death Dealer's Fate is fully procced and fully up. So once that 10 seconds is done with, the shield will collapse and there'll be a 5 meter AoE around you. And for 10 seconds, all that damage that you took when you're in that shield, you're going to be doing over 10 seconds. So that is a nice dot over 10 seconds. And the amount that I've been able to just roll people because of this, it has been so much fun. I really like this ability, and people just don't know what hits them. It hits so hard. And honestly, if you just want to build higher into health, you're going to have a higher tooltip on this. It's going to be insane. So that's awesome. So let's finally move on to our champion points so we can end this video. Our blue slottables are going to be Focus Mending, Mastered Arms, Ironclad, Cleansing Revival. Our red slottables are going to be Celerity, Sustained by Suffering, Pain's Refuge, and Survival Instincts. And then in the green tree, what we care about is Breakfall, Rationer, Liquid Efficiency. And also, if you're going to be, I know that these are all new characters for Arcanist, make sure you have Inspiration Boost. So it's going to increase your crafting inspiration by 10% per stage. So it's going to be 30% overall. So that's going to help when you're going to level your alchemy. So make sure you have this in. I would do this last out of these, but make sure you have that in because that's just free. And it's a great way to just make sure your alchemy is leveled a lot faster and you have to use a lot less mats. But guys, that is it from me. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys watching until the end of the video. So please, if you're not subscribed to the channel again, please do so. It is free. Also, if you are subscribed and you still want to help me out anyway, I have a second YouTube channel where it's just my Twitch VODs, and I'm gonna be honest, you guys don't have to watch the videos. They're just my VODs on Twitch, and but I would appreciate you guys subbing to that channel. It's free to sub, and if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, if we get that channel to a certain point, we can get it to be monetized. So the more subs we have, the faster we can get it monetized. And that's just a great way for me to make this full-time content creator thing actually a dream come true. But please, that link will be in the description to my VODs channel. Please go sub to that. You don't have to watch the videos. I would just appreciate that free sub. But guys, that's it from me. No more talking. Thank you so much for being here, and let's just get on with the clips for this build. I will see you guys on the next video. Later.